in over 100 countries, in 7 different languages, to more than 500 million viewers each week.
You better recognize it. I think you better recognize it. I think.
Hello and welcome to the Games Only Podcast, episode 53.
53. I don't like any of the bees.
Okay, great. I'm your host this evening, HP1703, and the first day of school makes me all anxious and nervous in my testicles, like if I'm in the ball pit at like a Chuck E. Cheese, and it kind of tickles my balls. To my east, a man for whom the first day of school means he finally can stare at underage women without feeling creepy. It's Master Gumaer.
Of age women, okay? Of age women.
Sure.
Bachelor John.
By the way,
of
his
age
name
women.
is changed because he doesn't have a doctorate, that lying fuck. To my south and west, a man who is angered by the first day of school because it reminds him of the worst 10 days of his life. It's Sunflower 4000.
I never learned how to divide.
And to my north and west, a man for whom the first day of school means putting on the snowshoes and breaking out the dog sled. It's Locke Vincent of LockeVincent.com.
I'm here to give all the Eskimo kisses.
He's from GamingAlchemy.com as well.
And Cooptimist.com.
All of the .coms.
Strippingbears.com. Don't look that up.
Dump strippers.
Hey, don't give away my site name.
Dump strippers.
Hey, let's talk about some games, shall we? So 3 of the 4 of us on this podcast, not to single anyone out, but 3 of the 4 of us just came back from the Penny Arcade Expo in Seattle, Washington, where we saw some games, I guess.
All of the games.
All of the games were there.
And that's all we're going to talk about. We're not going to talk about friendship or what you ate. We're going to talk about the meat, the potatoes.
That sounds
That's
like
exactly what we ate.
What?
Yeah.
What you ate.
This isn't the food-only podcast?
Wait for half an hour, then we'll turn into
Okay,
the Food
good.
Only podcast.
Let's talk about some meat and potatoes on the show floor.
All right.
All right, wait. Before we just dive in willy-nilly, we got to have a plan, right?
We do have to have a plan.
And you guys don't have one, from what I checked.
I thought the plan was to repeat the episode name at the beginning, and that's it. That's it. That's all
That's all
we
I thought.
53. So the plan is, let's just dive right in and...
That doesn't sound like a plan. That sounds like what
I'm not done!
Oh, okay.
You know what? Let's
Meandering. I just want to know from you. We're going to start with you, HP, because you want to be King Dingaling over here, so you're getting called on first, brother.
Well,
Wow.
he
What
is
was
the
the best
host
thing-
every week.
Did you have anything else to add?
No, just saying that he is King Dingaling.
So that makes him better than
This
me.
is going great, guys.
Yes.
This is perfect.
I want to know, HP,
Uh-huh.
what was the best game you saw there that got you the most hyped? Or is that a hard question?
That is a hard question. I think the game that was at PAX that I am the most excited for is Dishonored. I didn't really spend any time seeing it. I watched a couple people play it. And it is, it's a first person kind of think Bioshock meets Thief or Deus Ex. There's a lot of different ways of, getting your objectives, and you can do it. You can play it stealthily. You can play it more actiony, and you've got all these powers like Blink is a teleport power, and Swarm is some kind of there's like a swarm of rats power, and you can possess people. There are all these powers. It looks really cool, and I'm looking forward to it. But I did not wait in line to see it.
So you really like Dishonored.
Did you go to the Dishonored party?
I did not, and I
So you left with your honor?
did leave with my honor.
It was
That's
like
right.
it It was like a weird masquerade where everyone had masks on, and if you didn't, the guards like roughed you up.
Wow.
Everyone was in character. It was interesting.
That
Did they
sounds
give you a
very
muffin?
BDSM, yes.
Well, it was like something out of Eyes Wide Shut.
Okay.
Ew.
Cool. Now I wish I would have been there.
I know,
For those
right?
who've seen
Sounds
that movie,
like my
this-
kind of party.
this party turned.
But I will tell you, there are two games that really surprised me at PAX, and I want to start with them because I know both Doc and I saw them because we made interviews, and the first one was Marvel Heroes, which was not on my radar at all. It's a free-to-play kind of Diablo-style isometric view MMO, I guess. I don't know how many players you can have in.
So you don't know if it's massive.
It's
It
definitely.
is. It's supposed to be massive.
Yeah, I asked him how many people on the server, and he wouldn't really give me an answer for that when I asked. But yeah, it's supposed to be a massive multiplayer in which you play a Marvel hero of your choosing.
Yeah, it's really more Diablo than kind of your regular
Warcraft.
your Worlds of Warcraft.
But you don't exactly have to party up. I think that's the thing, in which players will just kind of walk around and you'll see them, and then you can party up. It's not like you have to make the attempt ahead of time to form a party.
But I did because I bum rushed your guys' interview.
That's right. I was demoing it with one of the devs, and Locke just appears next to me and says, "Hey, I'm going to be Emma Frost to your Wolverine." And I was like, "Okay."
What's an Emma Frost?
She's the one that gets you rock hard.
She can transform into her skin can be diamonds. She's a telepath as well.
She's like Diamond Head?
Like Diamond Head. Yep. That's
Which is the sister to Pyramid Head.
Oh, no, that's a boy. But anywho, so you crashed this interview, and what happened then?
We cut up some mansters.
We beat up Magneto. Seems like a pretty solid game simply because, they have, I think right now, 30 announced heroes. I think they said 32 announced heroes. And they're all from the Marvel Universe, and they're big heroes, they're small heroes. They range quite variably. And each hero has a lot of different costumes. I think that's the big part about this game is the nuances, because it's free to play, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah,
it
it's
is.
free to play, so they're going to monetize it through those little customizations of just, costumes, pretty much. Costumes or any little thing you can do to your character to make him more like the Spider-Man you always wanted him to be.
And I think
not a weakling. How can you do
No,
that?
I want it to be Iron Man.
the character slots will also be monetized. They didn't really talk about their business plan yet, but
Yeah.
it will
And
be
let's
free.
be fair, who gives a shit about the business plan itself, right? Like,
Yeah.
tell me about the
people
game.
who want to
fun.
pay money.
Well, I'm
care
saying
about
it's not all
business.
finalized, and they couldn't really tell you
Right.
anything.
So right. I mean, it's very much like Diablo, and it looks great. They've been allowed to make kind of their own story. It's an original story, and it will be canon. They've been allowed to make costumes that will be canon. They've been allowed all sorts of access to kind of Marvel and Marvel properties. So it has
they basically gave the devs free range to do whatever they want, which is interesting for Marvel because normally they want to have the final say on pretty much everything that has in a game that has to do with Marvel. Which is why, let's say, Marvel vs. Capcom 3 doesn't have certain characters you would expect, because Marvel's saying that, hey, we only want these characters in. They're coming up in recent story arcs, so that's how it's going to be.
Yeah. So I mean that's a game that wasn't really on my radar at all, and I think it looks good for a free to play game. I'm definitely going to try it. I mean, there's no harm in me trying it when it comes out, but.
Well, the biggest thing I think is that we're all having withdrawal from Marvel Ultimate Alliance, and this was the closest thing.
Yes.
Yeah, this looks like it's going to be very, very similar.
It's not, it's obviously swapping the beat 'em up for more of a point and click, but the same feelings there.
Yeah, and it was really easy to create a squad. I think they call them squads.
Master squads.
Master squads.
Yeah, that if you don't want to roll with a squad of 5 Wolverines, you can change your character on the fly. So it's not like you have to go back, reload a new character. You just go to your list, pick your hero out, and then you can go with them.
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's Marvel Heroes.
Well, all right, that sounds cool. But I don't really want to just dive into the great stuff that I'm interested in, but I'm going to do it anyway because I'm a jerk ass.
That sounds like you.
Did you all get to check out the Oculus Rift?
I did not. Locke and HP got to check it out.
Yeah. Can you guys tell me about it? Because I'm really, really interested. Is it really cool?
Please just make him disappointed, even if you're lying to him. Just
It's pretty damn cool.
Is it?
I think it is.
Yeah.
Great.
Do you want to tell him a little bit about...
Soldier Boy, tell him.
Well, we went into this little room where this man put this...
This is a good story already.
Yeah. He gathered up several gentle people, and, they're all dudes, and we all got in this room, and then we talked about this big secret project called the Oculus, and how he was really adamant about saying, it's not finished, but you know what? Once you strap those ski goggles on with the duct tape around them, and I was hoping that we were going to be playing Hawken because I'm looking forward to that game, but they were demoing Doom 3, but it was cool. I'll just say that it was really neat. I was very impressed with it. I went in almost completely neutral. I was a little bit skeptical, but I was very surprised at the fidelity of the movement. There was no lag from my head that I could notice.
Yeah, no, there wasn't. Let's just say there wasn't.
There was not, yeah.
Yeah.
And the only kind of detachment that I felt was because we were demoing it sitting down, it felt like it felt a little weird, like you would have to turn your head either way and then sort of recenter your body using the right analog stick on the Xbox controller, if that makes sense. So you'd turn your head to the left, and then you'd move the analog stick a bit to the left, so you would sort of center back up. Whereas I think, HP, you mentioned this, if you were standing, you wouldn't have that problem. You could
I think this game in particular will be best played standing up with nothing in your way, with good headphones on.
So it doesn't come with headphones?
No.
There's no sound integration at this time.
Now, would the Oculus Rift kind of, be a problem if you're wearing big old headphones like the pair that Sonny just got?
I don't think so. I think you can put that over top, or your headphones over top of them.
Yeah, a couple of times, even in the demo, they put the headphones right over the strap, so it wasn't an issue. What I found odd was the fact that for a first-person shooter, basically I was aiming with my eyes, not really my eyes, but my head.
Yeah, you were shooting with your face.
Right. And that really took me out of the experience because the 3D is cool. I was all immersed, but the fact that I was trying to aim at enemies with basically my head was really weird. I have a feeling the Oculus Rift right now would be a viable product for a driving game, one where you have the driving wheel and pedals, and you could really be immersed in it right now, I think, as it is. I'm sure they want to clean up the visuals a bit, but as far as the
what's it running? It's like 640 by like some weird resolution.
Well,
it's 640 by 400.
It's a 1080. I think it's a 1080p screen altogether, but they split it in half, so it looks like weird resolution.
Yeah, it's not great resolution, but their sort of mantra was that they want to get the movement and motion down before they do anything with the sort of graphics.
All right, so let me ask you this: when you get into a game, whatever game you played, is it a novel thing to like see things three-dimensionally, and you're like, this is really cool, and it's like to the point where you just kind of want to look at stuff, or is it just like, I see, let's move on?
Well, no, you want to explore, and you do explore, and you, in that example, because it was the first time we were playing with it, you blatantly and deliberately kind of wandered around and wandered into corners.
Yeah.
Where it sort of sold it for me was when you're playing, like if you guys have used the NVIDIA, like where 3D goggles are right now, like you're limited by that, that monitor, whereas this, you have free roam anywhere, and it's pretty amazing. Like you can just turn your head one way and you have full 3D that way. It's really cool.
Damn. So I need one. I still need one.
Well,
I know.
Yeah, but wait until they have 10, 12, 18 months until they've perfected it.
But I want a 3D fix.
I want my
talking,
dev kit now.
They were talking about they want to get it to the point where you can kind of bend down and kind of zoom in, that kind of thing. That's not really there yet, where you can get closer by kind of bending. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You bend down to look at something, and it just gets closer.
Right now, it just does the rotation of the head. It doesn't do the actual spacing where the head is.
Once that kind of thing is integrated, it will be great for games where you just want to explore the environment.
Myst.
Like
Wonderful.
Dear Esther.
Yeah, Microsoft Flight Sim.
Now, there was one problem you talked about during the weekend, and that's because you're nearsighted HP.
That is correct. So yeah, the Oculus Rift, as it is right now, is better for far-sighted people because it works kind of like binoculars. So being nearsighted, it wasn't as clear as I wanted it to be.
Yeah, because the monitor is right up to your eye, so if you can't see distances, you'll be okay with it. But if you can't see up close, you might have a problem. So
that's okay. I got contacts, man. I'll be all right.
So for the old people that need the bifocals, this might be a bit of a hard time.
Yeah, and they even mentioned it's best for it kind of requires kind of a custom fitting in a way, because you want it to be perfect to people's eyes. So I don't know if eventually they'll have to put something in where they can put your glasses in between or something. I don't know, but it wasn't. Yeah.
I know for a while they were talking about scanning the image onto your retina, which would avoid your lens altogether, but that sounds wild and completely unsafe.
Agreed. Yeah, so that's the Oculus Rift. It's a cool piece of tech, but it's not ready. It's not ready yet, Sonny.
What's the right price point for you? Even if it's not ready and it just comes out, when would you actually buy it? What price? 150? 200?
200.
I see this as a novelty that doesn't really do much for me.
Yet you own a Kinect.
I think I'm with HP on this.
That's right. I do own a Kinect.
Sonny,
so
don't
I know, so I know novelties that don't really do much for me.
Look,
the
reason why he bought a Kinect is because he drew the short straw. Because somebody in this group needs to own a Kinect. We'll do the same thing for the Wii U.
Do you regret your Kinect?
I got a super discount. I didn't pay anywhere near. It was about the same price as an actual game.
Okay.
So not really. Although I haven't done much with it, but
yell at people in Mass Effect.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Form right,
Garrus.
Hug me, Rex.
There's no other way. I wouldn't want to play the Mass Effect 3 without it.
So strange. So you see a lot more viability to a Kinect than this? Or?
No, they're both novelties that haven't been used properly yet, and the Oculus obviously isn't out yet. But yeah.
You just hurt Sunflower right there by calling.
No way,
Sonny,
just
he
picture.
wants to go to his his island
No,
and
Sonny,
go relax.
Sonny
really
will buy this, I'm sure, and it will be great.
he will be pleased, 100%. Hawken, MechWarrior, go.
Yeah, how was Hawken?
Fucking awesome. That game
Hawken
was
was sweet.
Didn't they have it last year?
No,
You sure?
they showed it at E3.
They had maybe a trailer last year.
Yeah, they showed it.
I love how you sing that shit for no reason whatsoever.
trailer last year.
You're welcome.
One
I
thing
did
I
not
don't
know
like-
this game. So this game is free to play as well, which I didn't know
Wave of the
until.
future, baby, wave of the future.
One thing
Apparently.
I hate about PC games at PAX or any convention is that they always give you the mouse that looks like Optimus Prime shouted out. I have no idea how to hold my fucking hand
You're
up.
like, why does this mouse have 37 buttons?
Yeah, why am I holding it at a 45-degree angle and moving forward? Ergonomics my ass.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd like a mouse with 2 buttons and a wheel.
True dat.
But yeah, besides that, Hawken was the shit.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't
played
know
it
that
too,
there's
H?
much else to say about it.
Is it the shit enough that you will try it when it comes out, or will you be like, meh?
I think you said you were uninterested by Hawken. You? HP?
Yeah, HP. I thought you said you were uninterested about Hawken. HP, you said that. Well, what would it take for you to enjoy Hawken?
I don't think this game is my thing, but it's free to play, so I'm gonna try it.
I'm gonna make it your thing.
I don't know.
Locke will throw robots down your throat until you love the taste of robots.
That doesn't sound like ever then.
It has been, I believe, 3 years since I've been to PAX. Is that correct?
Sure.
Sounds right.
Yeah, when I was there, they had Battle Block Theater, and it was a piece of crap. I hear they had it this year.
And it's
again.
a piece of awesome.
Is it? What happens in that?
Dude, it's just like a stupid toy box that you could play with your friends, and they were showing off the level creator. And it's really easy to make levels. It's a really fun platformer. It has a campaign. I say that in quotation marks, where you play a set of 15, missions, and then that's it. And then you're able to download all the content you want. It's all free. It's really cool. They have all the different game modes from, get to the end of the race, collect these gems, collect gold and put it in a safe. They're showing basketball. It's bananas. People that are looking for Castle Crashers, this is not it. It has the same sort of unlockables and that sort of thing. You can actually trade with your friends with the unlockables, and how those work is that I forget what when you put like a quarter in and you turn the crank on those like gumball machines, but they give you toys. I forget.
The toy machines.
The toy machines. They have a special name in Japan. They're like Banku machines, but all the unlockables are like that, so it's all random, and then you can swap them with your friends if you want, which is really neat. But yeah, I played that, and it's just bananas. It's something that you can pick up, play, or create if you want. Think of if Little Big Planet didn't lick a giant cock, and then and was really fast paced. Wasn't in the level creator wasn't intimidating. And it was just pure fun. Like, you're always having fun with it. I would be hard-pressed to find someone that doesn't, at least smile while you're playing this game.
Okay, because I had a lot of frowns when I first played it years ago. I'm glad to hear that it's shaped up. But
I can imagine. Playing one mode, the beauty of this game is, like, if you play one mode and it's like, okay, collect 3 gems in this one level, go, I can totally see. Because that's going to get really old really fast. Whereas if you're going from like level type to level type and it just switches sort of every 60 seconds or 2 minutes, you're always on your feet. So I think that's where the charm of the game comes from.
Is this the first year they showed the creator, the level creator?
Yeah, this is the first time they showed.
Because
they realized they couldn't make anything.
I think they've been in the same exact spot every single year in the convention hall as well.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's good though. They actually showed something new.
Totally.
Cool. Now, what's this Monaco shit?
What?
I want to know about Monaco.
I don't know.
It's not Monaco Grand Prix?
No, this is a heist.
Heist!
Co-op heist game. That's, it's like Pac-Man meets Hitman, where you go in, you can select your class, and your goal is to collect the treasure from the level, and you gotta use your different strengths, like hacking and taking out guards, and I don't know, I've looked at it for the last 3 or 4 years, and it's pretty damn amazing, and I can't wait for it to come out.
Sweet. What about the rest of you guys? Same thing?
Yeah, but it looks like it's definitely a co-op only game. I saw some guy playing by himself, and he just looked depressed.
That's boring.
Yeah.
Okay. How about that antechamber stuff?
Antechamber is fucking weird, and the dev's an asshole.
Oh, really? Who is the dev?
I can't remember his name, but I know our good friend Veritas went up there just watching it, and he was going to ask the dev a question, and he kind of just blew him off. And then HP and I show up there with our media badges, and I just wanted to watch the game. I didn't want to really play it or talk to him. He walks by me, looks at the media badge. He's like, okay, I'll get this kid off of here, and you can go right on ahead. So without even me saying anything. So I'm like, wow.
That's horrible, but that's awesome.
Yeah. Antechamber is... Oh, well, it's titled a non-Euclidean adventure or something like that.
Non-Euclidean.
That's right. So the developer's
a Greek. Well, he's an anti-Greek.
A windbag, a pretentious...
Well, it is an indie game.
Oh, well, yeah. Then, yeah.
Boom.
But, it's just it seems like it's an exploration/puzzle game, but the puzzles are weird and they don't really tell you much. Yeah, I know. You're probably writhing in your seat right now, Sonny.
No, that was the dog hitting the doorstop.
So the dog knows to freak out at the word puzzle. That's good. You trained that very well.
Hey, look, you didn't say platformer, so I don't mind.
That's true. It's not a runny, jumpy game, but it's weird.
Stop
because
it!
It's
This is what happened. I was told I can't mute my mic tonight, so the dog is looking at me and just doing this like, go ahead and tell me more about Antechamber. No, don't do it! Get away from there!
Oh, jeez.
Oh, God.
Antechamber, it's a Euclidean puzzle.
Non-Euclidean. So, I mean,
Non-Euclidean.
it's a first person and you're exploring, but just the way the world connects is completely bizarre. Like, there's this one section in which I need to stare at, like, a certain color to change the rest of the world and how I view things, and it's just really weird. I mean, the dev, I asked him, okay, could you explain a little bit? He said, no, just sit down and play. So I was like, all right.
Right, butthole.
Yeah, it's just an exploration game. Not like Dear Esther. There's actually thought required into the exploration.
You had a media badge. You could have been awesome and been like, no, you know what? We're not even going to cover this game if you're not going to play ball.
Well, I understand why he said, I'm not going to explain the game to you because he wanted me to be surprised and figure things out for myself.
Okay, so he didn't say it in a dicky way.
No, he had a smile on his face like, no, I'm not telling you a damn thing. You're going to learn by yourself. It was that type
like
of
one of those, I'm putting my finger up to my nose like Santa. I'm like, why didn't you find out?
Does Santa does that?
Yeah, he does the finger next to the nose thing, like
Okay.
old Saint Nick, sucker.
All right, cool. So yeah, it looks weird. It looks creepy, and it's probably the most different game out there right now. Well, not out there, but being developed right now from what I see. There are some other odd games out there in the indie corner, but that was the one that kind of stood out as really, really weird.
So it's cool, though.
Yeah, it is. Just the way that he creates the puzzles. Like, there's one in which I had to keep running around in circles. And, there's signs that say, stay on track and, don't give up and stuff like that. So, the game does drop subtle hints, but it's just strange how the puzzles work out. I guess when he says non-Euclidean, he means that, the puzzles in the world doesn't connect linearly like they should.
Yeah, it's a Satanism allegory.
Yeah. Like it's walking around in an Escher or piece of work.
Yeah, like the devil.
Yeah.
HP, did you get time with this game at all?
I watched Doc play it. But I've seen the first 5 minutes of this game 30 times.
Oh.
So it's one of those things where once
Doc's just not very good.
Yes, that's it. No, once you see the puzzles and how to solve them, there's really no replayability. here.
Yeah, the puzzles are really unique, but once you recognize them, it's over.
Right. You play this once, it'll be an interesting experience, unlike any other thing you've ever played, and then you'll go, okay, I'm never going to play that again.
That's the end of that. Okay. Well, that sounds neat enough. What else did you guys see? I want to hear more from HP. He's been quiet.
You've been quiet.
Not really.
Oh, okay.
What's up?
What?
I'm calling you a liar.
Fantastic. Hey, let's talk about the game that has been there in has a massive presence at PAX for the past 3 or 4 years.
Oh my God! Darkest of Days.
I thought we already covered Monaco.
We did. Whoa!
I thought we already talked about Battle Block Theater.
Oh,
okay.
So many jokes.
But this was the king of all jokes, and it's actually the game that I was most surprised about.
What?
What
was it?
What was it? Yeah, it was Firefall.
Firefall?
Yeah, that's where we're going, right, HP?
Yes, that was where I was going. We got a chance to sit down and stand up and talk with the lead developer of Firefall, who walked us through probably about a 45 minute demonstration of what this game is. And what this game is something I don't think either of us were expecting, given what they showed the past couple years.
Yeah, I mean, I went to PAX East in 2010, and Firefall looked like it was an arena shooter. And then
I was under the impression that it was.
And then last year at PAX Prime, it suddenly became an MMO.
Okay.
And this year they finally decided to show everything together, especially because the beta's out.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the year in which everything, just kind of culminated, and it is actually showing the actual game, what it's supposed to be. So the arena shooter is going to be the PvP mode, It has a team deathmatch and it has a few other things. One's like a capture the flag style or like a tug and pull style.
Yeah, there are resources and minerals in the environment, and a big part of what Firefall will eventually be is I don't want to say resource management, because it's not resource management in the way you think. Resource gathering?
Gathering, yeah. Because you need to sort of refine you're gathering like crystals and metals, and you need to like refine them. You're a friggin' metallurgist. You're an alchemist in the future.
Right. But it's not just gathering them, because eventually there will be armies, squads of people who will be able to control areas on the map where these minerals are created. And so, in a way, there's this whole element of kind of resource hoarding.
Yeah, I guess one of the nice things about talking to Scott Youngblood, the lead developer, was that we got to ask him questions for what.
What was that?
Scott.
I forgot
his name by the end of the 45 minutes. And if I remembered his last name was Youngblood, I definitely would have made a hockey reference. He was nice enough to explain what he wants for the game to go on with. And right now there's no open world PvP. All the PvP is done in that arena style, little instances off to the side. But he wants to eventually have characters be able to band together and make armies, which is what Firefall's guilds are going to be like. So the armies sound freaking awesome. Because if it's open world PvP and you're rolling with like this big old army, you can start just like holding down complete areas. He wants to be able to build bases in which that hold all of your resources, and then when another army tries and take it over, they can completely demolish it and take all the resources. So it's a kind of like resource management, but you're managing the area in which the resources are going to pop up.
Yeah, So the basics of the game, you play as one of, I think, 6 different, what do they call them? Battle forms?
Yeah, there was
they're basically classes.
Yeah, there was a bunch of new things simply because they completely got rid of their level-based system like a few weeks before. They went to PAX. So they now have tiers in which there's, the 5 or 6 basic suits, pretty much. You put on this suit, and that's your class.
Right, so you're a soldier or a medic or an engineer or whatever the terminology is. But you have different tiers for each. And the PvP will work based on tiers. Is that correct?
Yeah, so, certain tiers have the... Certain tiers have the...
the more you cry, the more you win.
That's correct.
Yes.
More tears that come out of you.
Yes, those tiers. But they have, the more advanced people that are better at this Twitch shooter style of game will go up to tier 5, while the people that are more comfortable playing an MMO and a little bit slower pace will go down to tier 1. So you pretty much pick the tier you feel more comfortable with, and there's no real reason to be like, well, I need to get to the next tier or level up. They pretty much got rid of that system. Instead of leveling, you have experience that you can use for perks for your suit. But you're only allowed to have so many perks, so it's going to be a balance of, well, if I get this really good freaking gun, I can't have that great of armor. Or if I have this ability, I can't use this ability. So it's really going to be a pick and choose, which is going to help balance out the game, as opposed to looking at more like, well, I can't do anything until I hit the highest level possible.
Bless you.
I'm sorry.
You're fine. And that's kind of one of the ways they're going to monetize this. So basically he mentioned having different builds for, say, a soldier character, where you have a soldier character that's built for just the team deathmatch, and you have who does lots of damage, and then you have a soldier character who's built for the capture the flag kind of mode, who's a faster character, and I can't remember how many he said that they're going to allow you to have.
Yeah, I think you're allowed to have 3 or 5 suits for free, and then each additional suit is going to cost you. So each additional loadout that you want is going to cost you.
Right. So that would be a way that they could monetize this game and kind of get different players.
What?
Nothing.
You just have a seat on the couch?
No, the dog just trying to sniff the mic.
Luckily, I can edit.
Fantastic. So, so Firefall looks like it's finally coming together, and I can finally understand what they were trying to do all these years. And, again, for a free-to-play game, there's no reason why I'm not going to try this out. We got into the beta, and we'll try that out. And
well, we all know that the true tipping point doesn't have controller support. Did they give you controllers, or did you have mouse and keyboard?
I think it's mouse and keyboard.
Uh-oh.
So HP might not like it that much. Who knows?
Well,
he'll just go tier 1 in the arena.
Scott, so Mr. Youngblood was mentioning that this game caters to players of different skill levels, and there are, for a character for a player like myself, there are characters who are slower, who can do more damage, and who have better armor, and that might suit my play style better because I'm not going to be jumping around and really.
You'll sit back and shoot the rocket launcher.
Right, exactly. So I think there might be something in this game for everybody. It seemed like Mr. Youngblood knew enough about shooters that he has thought about pretty much anything.
Well, he did mention that he was the lead developer on Tribes. And he was one of the developers on Tribes too until he took another job. So
that's a good pedigree.
He's been around, and
but
he was
right
really
now, yeah, for right now, but for Firefall, all I really hope is it gets off the ground and they can actually make money. Because right now, all the cool stuff about armies and open world PvP and resource hauling and taking over a whole server isn't going to happen unless they can sustain a profit. Because right now, it's in closed beta, and they're just putting in more open world content and refining the PvP, the arena style, and then they're going to release the game.
What did you think about it, Locke?
Firefall?
Yeah.
I've actually been playing it for the last week. But I think we should save that for another podcast. I think it's fun.
Okay.
To be honest with you. It reminds me a lot of Tabula Rasa with a great group mentality with this resource gathering. There isn't too much to do right now, but I haven't made it out of the first zone. But they have a really good way of leveling up your character, which I think is great. It doesn't make you min-max, and you can change on the fly, which is really good too. Like, you can change to a sniper if you're playing as an assault, or you can change to a medic. Like, it's really neat. Like, so.
That's cool. HP, any final thoughts? Play this shit.
Well, I don't want to. Don't get us wrong. This game isn't just PvP. There are plenty of AI enemies out there.
There's a whole AI faction out there in which if you're playing, you'll get like a random announcement that says, "Hey, these guys are trying to take over," and then like, we would really appreciate if you went and killed them. So you
kind of like the little bounty hunters.
Yeah, just like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, if you're not into the PvP, this is still a game worth checking out because you can still, form up a squad with your friends and, gather some resources and kill some AI.
Cool.
Yeah,
all right.
Yes,
one
dear?
more thing, though, the Thunderdome ability that the Assault has, he actually says 2 men enter, 1 man leaves when he uses it.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah, so that was cool.
Stay out of trouble.
Make it right.
Make it right.
Oh, man. Speaking about making it right, where does that come from?
That comes from Metal Gear Rising Reconnection.
Yeah, you're right. Revengeance.
The Source Edition.
Metal Gear Rising Revengeance, which is a game focused specifically just on Raiden. There's no Solid Snake in here at all, correct?
Basically, the weenie of the story.
The weenie. Well, he's got a kick-ass sword.
He was the weenie in Metal Gear Solid 2, and then became really cool looking when he became a robotic ninja.
Yeah.
Unless you don't like those and you think robotic ninjas look like weenies.
I think I've kind of, I'm not impressed with just general Japanese culture like some people are, and I don't fantasize about high school age girls.
Did you like Vanquish?
It was alright, yeah.
Did you like Bayonetta?
Nah, it's horrible. No, I liked it. Man, what is this trick? Am I going to love this game?
Yeah, you are.
It's made by Platinum Games.
It's made by Platinum.
Oh, well, that's all you had to say. I'm in.
And
but did you guys get to play it or just see it?
You played it.
Yeah. HP and I played it in the Konami Suite, which was kind of
the Konami Suite.
Yeah, which was kind of eerie, and they had like mini hamburgers and kebabs and.
Oh, that's awesome! Wait, why am I laughing at Konami Suite? I thought you called it Salty Sweet.
No, not the Salty Sweet. No,
Salty Sweet. Nope. Like pretzels and ice cream, delicious.
Makes sense.
So Konami brought you up into their little hotel. Like, was it a big conference room or something?
Yeah.
Yeah. And
they had mini burgers.
Of
course. This is all I care about. The game, whatever. The mini burgers.
We'll take
what else did they furnish you with? I want to know, man. This is
and comfortable chairs, and they had Metal Gear Rising. I'm not going to try and say the colon.
Revengeance.
The word after the colon, because it's not really a word in my book.
It's more than revenge.
Make it right.
Make it right. But yeah, the game is very competent. Going in, I thought it was only going to be using that weird slow down sword slashing movement.
Where they hit the base and everything goes.
Yeah, and then whoop afterwards. But no, it's a pretty solid action game, and then you have the option to hit that trigger and go down into the slow-mo in which you can just lob people's brains off.
So it's basically like
trigger.
Like Locke mentioned, the Bayonetta, you do the dodge, and all of a sudden things are slow for a bit, and you're like, yeah, now I can kick even more ass.
Yeah, pretty much, except it's a sword that can just dislocate people. And there are, little quick time, I wouldn't really call them quick time event, but cues while you're fighting that says, well, if you hit him enough and you weaken him, you hit these buttons, you flip in the air, and you stab him in the asshole with your sword or something like that.
Kind of like God of War, when you beat up somebody, you can hit the B button and try to eat their jaw.
Yeah,
Sure.
kind of, except I think it's a bit more actiony than it was in God of War, because you're still in control of your character instead of just letting him.
You don't
do all
just
the
watch
stuff.
the animation.
Yeah, you don't just watch them.
They're like, oh, goo, he's bewildered.
But yeah, I mean, story
You
aside,
can have your way with him.
I don't know what kind of story they're going to do for this game, but
Doesn't matter.
the action
matter.
just looks amazing, so it doesn't really matter what they can do with the story.
It's a revenge story and a tale of vengeance.
The Tale of Two Revengeances.
Ooh, that's the sequel. Don't give it all away. Okay, so all three of you got to play it?
Yeah?
I didn't play it.
Oh no, HP Watch Me, that's right.
Did you not feel any? Is it just like not your thing, or are you just like, yeah,
It is
I understand.
exactly not my thing.
Oh, really? Okay. What would sell this game to you? What if they were like, oh, but you can decorate your house?
You can build a wood-cutting axe of fire.
No,
Any fruit that you cut, you get in your produce cooler.
falls under the category of games that are very well made that I understand why people like, that just don't appeal to me.
Not your thing. Okay.
What happens if you could slice up that Brett Favre?
He wants to slash his jersey.
Yeah, yes, sure.
Okay, what else did you guys see besides the mini burgers? Did Konami, was that all they were showing in their suite, the salty suite?
No, I played a little of Zone of the Enders HD.
Oh, that probably isn't your thing also, is it?
No, but it's well made. It's a well made 3D or HD remake. All the original cutscenes are in it, which look apparently
We played Zone of the Enders 2. The first one didn't have that anime style, so I don't know what they're going to do for the cutscenes in that.
But yeah, still looked good.
Yeah, it's not too far away from release, so that's nice.
Yeah, the control scheme was still the old control scheme, and so was the tutorial, so it's a bit archaic and old school, but, I mean, if you were a fan of those, or if you ever wanted to play them but couldn't get your hands on them, then, yeah, I would suggest picking them up.
Well, I'm not too crazy about controls or anything like that, you know how I feel.
Yes. I played the Silent Hill game that's coming out for the Vita.
Oh.
Yep,
I
felt.
heard some weird things about this, like someone saying, "Well, it's not really a Silent Hill game; it's more like Diablo." Does that
What?
is that correct, or is
That
way
actually is fairly accurate. That's not far from the truth.
off? Okay, tell me what the heck you play.
It's an isometric dungeon crawler
This is so weird.
with, like, you always have a map of kind of the area. When you go into a room, the entire room lights up, so it's not like there's anything hiding anywhere. The monsters don't necessarily look all that threatening or scary.
Looks like pig and sheep are attacking you.
Because it's well lit, and I don't know who this game is for, because I think Silent Hill fans will think this game is stupid, and I don't know who they're trying to bring in.
That sounds like this should be like a new IP, and they're just desperately searching for any. They spun a wheel. They said, "What franchise will we attach to this?" Landed on Silent Hill.
That's what it looked like. Yeah.
That could have been a Castlevania game, but no.
That's kind of what we thought. So yeah, you just go through these dungeons and you find keys and unlock doors and progress through the dungeon. As far as I can tell, we didn't get very far. I didn't get very far.
Well, I mean, that's like playing 10 minutes of Diablo 3. Are you going to get a good experience? Well.
Yeah.
Yeah, but at least if it has the word Diablo in front of it, I know what I'm expecting.
This sounds
was
like a
Silent Hill : Diablo.
Silent Hill's had a couple games that were kind of off. They did have a shooter game in the arcades, which does make sense for that series. And they also had some visual novels, which lamely do make sense. But this just... the only thing stranger would be like a board game.
That would be dope. A Silent Hill board game could
I would
be
be
awesome.
down with that. I'd be down with that.
Oh, wait, you guys' board games. I'm talking like Candyland.
Fuck your Candyland.
I
Yeah.
will have sex with your Candyland.
Okie dokie. What else we got?
I want to know what friend of the show, Locke
That's
Vincent
me.
of GamingAlchemy.com. We didn't ask him any of these questions, like what was the game of the show?
Company of Heroes 2.
Ooh,
You
this is
got to
something
see it?
I didn't get to check out because it wasn't.
Because I didn't
on
get
the
to
show
check
floor.
this out either.
Oh, so
Tell
this
me
was a
about
behind
Company of
closed
Heroes
doors
2.
thing.
This is some secret shit.
Did they not tell us?
No, I just booked an appointment with them, and they were showing in one of the hotel suites. You went to the Konami suite. I went to the Russian Gulag suite. Yeah.
They had snow everywhere.
They had vodka and snow
Yeah.
and potatoes.
And vodka, snow, and women, and it was a party, and I stayed there all morning.
Sounds just like the Company of Heroes games.
No, it's mind-boggling what they're doing with that, and there's a reason why it's taken them 6 years.
Why?
They've totally taken everything that was good with Company of Heroes and left it. They left the strategy. They left everything. They're not trying to compete with StarCraft. It's a total, completely opposite end of the spectrum. I'll tell you what.
So it's Company of Heroes 1.
Company of Heroes 1, but
They kept the good stuff.
but what they did was they made some new engines, and they're just adding so much depth, layers upon layers of depth. So first off, we have the TrueSight engine, which they've trademarked, and that is, when you have a unit in a real-time strategy game, and it has this radius, and it erases the fog of war as you move through the map. Well, that doesn't happen anymore. What happens is the fog of war dissipates when the unit can see through it. So if you go beside a wall and your unit is facing one way, it can't see on the other side of the wall. So it's really awesome for setting up ambushes and just doing some amazing tactics. And I
know the original kind of did that a little bit, but
it did,
sounds
but
like they got
not to
all
this
fixed
extent.
out.
Not to this extent.
And then the fog disappears once your unit goes through it.
Yeah, exactly. So if you move past a set of trees and you get through the trees, then you can see what's on the other side of them. But it's really cool because the weather also comes into an effect with the line of sight. So if there's a big blizzard or a sandstorm or something, your guys aren't going to be able to see as far. So that's another thing for setting up different sort of ambushes and things of that nature. But so yeah, the TrueSight, it's really cool. It works really well. Another small little thing that they added was your infantry can now hop over walls. So instead of doing the sort of long trip around, they'll just take some time to climb over them. That's a nice little touches. These are all really little touches, but big in the. If you've played Company of Heroes 2, these are huge. These are huge game changers. What they're calling is the third player is the weather, their weather system. And because it takes place on the Eastern Front in Russia, obviously you're going to have a lot of snow. So one of the missions I played featured a snow map, and there's a couple things you have to pay attention to. One being the temperature. If your guys are left out in the cold, they will start to freeze, and they'll get hypothermia and die. So just imagine you sending this big wave of units after your opponent to take on their base, and they freeze halfway through. So
not pleasant. Now, it sounds like they're just adding so much depth to it. Is it kind of trouble that maybe it's too realistic and not going to be fun, or does it all look really good?
Because it affects everybody, right? Like if you go and you walk up, and what happens is you can. There's different ways of getting warm. One, your engineers can build fires, so you can kind of do a creeping barrage. Or you can build a fire wherever you want as long as you have an engineer. You can hide in buildings. You can get beside vehicles and warm up beside a vehicle. The wind actually has an effect. So if there's lots of wind and you just go beside a vehicle, your guy he won't necessarily warm up, but he will be cut off from that wind chill.
He won't freeze more.
Yeah, he won't freeze more. Ice is a huge thing. If you have units going over ice and the ice breaks, it falls through. I had a tank actually fall through the ice, and then after, 15 minutes of game time, it had refroze, so I could use that as another bridge. Just the weather is insane, and it's totally random, so you can have a map that is, a map, except it's going to be different every time because of this weather effect. And when I was playing, because I had played, it took me a couple minutes to kind of get used to the Russians and how they play, but, you're managing all these systems, but it's not so complicated that it's doing too many things at once. It all works nicely in this sort of symphony of systems, I guess you could say, and I thought it was really cool. There's a couple things, and it is an alpha. There's a couple things like if your guy was just outside the radius of the fire, he would still die, which I thought was kind of stupid. Like they should have some sort of like auto go towards that fire thing, because that's dumb if he's like 1 foot out of that radius in the game and he just flops over and dies. So there's lots to work on, but I mean, man, that game they know how to make a strategy game.
That's good. It sounds like it's really scary and might need too much micromanagement, but I have a lot of faith in Relic.
I'm sure if you're playing online, there's an option to turn off the weather or something like that. People want a more classic feel.
I'm not sure if they'll do that. I don't know, but I welcome it.
You could pick the map, you could turn off the weather.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah,
well, there might be.
I like. Yeah, I like the sound of it, though. Yeah, just because I like that little extra hook.
Yeah,
totally.
The sound of that. Well, that's neat, man. That sounds super cool. I'm glad you managed to get some time in with that.
Yeah.
Card Hunter?
Card Hunter, it's a friggin' browser game that uses cards as your... It's a deck-building game, but you're also playing a tabletop RPG. Really, really light, but lots of depth with... You're building your deck by equipping a sword. So say you equip a sword on your guy, it's going to have like 4 different moves. If you equip an axe on your guy, it's going to have, one of the save moves and 3 different moves. Like... it's just scratching my itch, that itch of cards. So,
and you have to use a card to do anything, right? All the movement is cards.
Correct.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Go look at
building.
it. It's going to be awesome. Yeah. Deck.
We also looked at Soulforge.
Right. Yeah. Why don't you talk about Soulforge?
We used our media hour to go upstairs and talk to Justin Gary about a card game for the PC. But Soulforge looks dope because it's a basic card game. It's free to play, but you'll eventually, you'll be able to buy boosters and stuff like that. That's how they're going to monetize it. But you pretty much have a card and it has 3 different levels. So in the beginning, the card isn't really that great. You play the card, it goes back into your hand. The next level, that card goes back into your hand, and when your character levels up to that specific level, you can then play the next level of that card. So it's a game of pretty much attrition, trying to play the proper cards out first. That way, you get the good levels later on. Like Locke kept on trying to get a dragon out, in which the first card's like a dragon egg, which can't attack, and it's kind of shitty, and it just sits there and takes up a spot. But he's playing it to hopefully get the actual dragon out later in the game. Really, really cool element, really slick looking UI. We played it on the iPad, and that worked out really, really well. I'll probably get it on the PC, but it's supposed to be for iOS, Android, and PC, and it's all supposed to be cross-platform. So if you have any copy of this game, you can play it with anybody else who has a copy of it. So it looks really fun.
Yeah,
cool.
Made by Richard Garfield, the guy who made Magic. So there you go. Being published by the guys who made Ascension. So combine 2 of the best deck-building games in existence, you've got something on your hands.
Yeah, I think they just met their Kickstarter today, I want to say, which I funded after seeing their little demo at PAX.
Cool. All right. What else? Keep feeding me. Feed me more.
Guacamelee. HP, go.
All right. Guacamelee is it can be a cooperative kind of brawler, side-scrolling brawler. There's some platforming in it. There's some
There's gear gating.
Somewhat.
Gear gating, like Metroidvania.
Oh, yeah. And there's some turning into a chicken, which I'm still not sure why that's
anybody
in there.
would want to turn into a chicken.
Samus turns into a ball, Guacamelee turns into a chicken.
But I think Doc and I were spamming the chicken.
I did not play this game, actually, at all.
Who was I playing with?
Fuck if I know. Fuzzy?
I can't remember.
Sure. Sure, friend of the show, Fuzzy, and I were playing Guacamelee, and we spammed the chicken button. But yeah, this I don't know. I found this game to be a lot of fun. The controls feel good. It's interesting. There's some self-referential humor to the dialogue that I was just kind of skipping through because I just wanted to play the game. I didn't want to see the story yet.
Yes.
But I think the story can be potentially a lot of fun. It seems like they have a good sense of humor. So
yeah, you play as this luchador who has banished to the land of the dead, and he's trying to make his way back. He's made
Grim Fandango 2.
Yes,
and
Grim Fandango
it's got some pretty seamless crossplay on the Vita and PlayStation 3.
Oh, that's cool. So you guys can use the Vitas you owned.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. Can't wait.
So yeah, this game is fun. I look forward to its release whenever that is. I don't remember.
Well,
yeah, I had a good.
Everyone's complaining about no Vita games, and there is actually quite a few Vita games there that looked really good, and I think Guacamelee was the best one for sure.
But you can also play that on PS3, so that's
so that's kind of a
tough sell. Because I mean, a lot of people, if you give them the option, I'd rather get the one that goes on my TV. So I don't know. Interesting. With the time that you guys had to play with Vitas, do you want one anymore?
I do. I want a Vita.
I don't mobile games, so I don't want one.
And I don't want to pay as much as they are making me pay right now. So I'd much rather get a 3DS for, if we're talking about the prices that they both are right now.
Yeah. Okay. What else, fellers?
Super Time Force.
I didn't see that one. What is that?
I don't know.
Never heard of it.
All right, so you got Gunstar Heroes, except when you die, you can reverse time, and then you get to play through the level again, except your character from the previous life is still playing with you.
Oh, nice.
So it's like Ghost Mode.
Oh, that's the one. That's the one that looks kind of like Contra, yeah.
Gunstar Heroes.
Okay.
Yes, it's similar to Contra. It is a side-scrolling shooter.
Haha.
So.
What else was like that? Catch-22 was like that. In which that's a game in which you're rotating around the Earth and you're picking up gold coins and you're jumping to get them, and at some point you switch to another orb and you are also trying to get.
It's rotating in the opposite direction.
Yes. So you're trying to also.
The second orb is rotating in an opposite direction.
Playing against the image of yourself playing before. Okay. And then you're playing against the orb that before, which is rotating in the opposite direction. So you're trying to avoid yourself that you just played as while still getting points, and you die and you blame yourself because it's your fault.
Right.
So that looked a little interesting.
What else?
I guess Puzzle Juice.
Puzzle Juice. The whole PAX 10 and the Indie booth was very strong.
It was nice that it was a bigger area. Like the indie area took up like a big, huge block, so I was very happy with that.
Yeah, it was nice to see those
Mark
guys.
the Ninja looked cool. That comes out
together and grab that big space.
Yeah, Mark the Ninja looked cool. That comes out next week.
Yes,
comes out on Friday.
Oh, Friday? Okay, by the Shank Boys.
Clay.
Yeah, that looks awesome.
Yeah.
The Shank Boys.
Yeah, the guys who made Shank.
I'm just going to throw out games that people should check out. Quadrilangular Cowboy, Virus Named Tom, that's already out there. What else did I play? Oh, The Bridge looked awesome. Sweeper.
That's the MC Escher one.
Yep. Yeah, some really good stuff over there. Sonny, anything else we're missing that you wanted you wanted some insight on?
No.
I know.
You guys are thorough.
No,
I went to the Hitman panel. And they introduced their make a contract mode in which you
make a contract.
You make a contract to kill somebody, but it's really simplified. It's not like you create the level. You play in the level that's already there, and then you kind of just pick anybody in that level to kill, and you kill them, and then there you go. It tells you, okay, if you kill them this way, in this specific manner, then you get so many points, and then you just upload it. So it's really simplified how to do it, but it looks fun. That way, because all the NPCs in the game and all the extras have names, and you can, say, oh, that bouncer that's up there on the top ledge that I've never gone up there before, I can make him the contract and go kill him with, I don't know, the knife in the back of his dick. I don't know, something like that. So it looked interesting.
That is unfortunately where the recording ends. We had some internet trouble, and I'm sure you can tell. So, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up for my hosts, since their goodbyes did not manage to get on the show. Locke Vincent, it was great to have you. HP, thank you for being the host. Sunflower, shame on you for screwing this up. And Doc, thank you for being here as well. The PAX talk was all really interesting, and I did enjoy it quite a bit. We'll be back with you next week to talk about more general games. Thanks for listening. Bye-bye.